Hey there, kids. Let's talk about quadrilaterals today. Any shape that has four sides is a quadrilateral. So every shape that you're looking at up here, you can say is a quadrilateral. Okay? But we have different types of quadrilaterals. We have a trapezoid, and it has at least two parallel lines. There's one here, and there's one here. Okay? The key word here is at least. We have a parallelogram, and this has two pairs of parallel lines. The right-hand side is parallel to the left. The top is parallel to the bottom, but they are of different lengths. We have a rhombus, and this is a type of a parallelogram also because it has two sets of parallel sides, but all four sides are the same length, and so it's a rhombus. A rectangle. Well, a rectangle has two sets of parallel lines. The top and the bottom are parallel. The left and the right-hand side are parallel, but they are not of the same length. The left and the right are of the same length. The top and the bottom are the same, but not all four. Notice that each corner is a 90-degree angle. It's a right angle, and that's a characteristic of a rectangle. And the last one is my favorite. It's a square, and it's got all four sides the same, and it's got four right angles to it, and two sets of parallel lines. Now the funny thing is that many of these quadrilaterals have more than one name. For example, this is a trapezoid because it has at least one pair of parallel sides. But that also makes this a trapezoid, this is a trapezoid, this one's a trapezoid, and that one is a trapezoid. They're all trapezoids because they have at least one pair of parallel sides. Now, a parallelogram, there's one right here. Well, this is also a parallelogram. It's a parallelogram and a trapezoid. Okay? It's a parallelogram because it has at least two pairs of parallel sides. This one, they are not of the same length, but this one, they're all of the same length. Both of these are trapezoids and they're parallelograms. A rectangle is a parallelogram also because it has two pairs of parallel sides, but it's not a rhombus because a rhombus has all four sides the same length. So a rectangle is a rectangle, it's a parallelogram, and it's a trapezoid. It's also a quadrilateral. And the best shape up here is definitely the square. It is a rectangle because it has four right angles. It is a rhombus because all four sides are the same. It is a parallelogram because it has two pairs of parallel sides to it. And it is a trapezoid because it has at least one pair of parallel sides. So a square is a quadrilateral. It's also a rectangle. It's also a rhombus. It's also a parallelogram, and it's also a trapezoid. So that brings us down to these four questions right here. And let's take a look at these together, okay? Let's move this out of the way. Let's get our pen. And it says this. The first one, well, definitely this thing is a rectangle. And you guys all know that. Whoops, I can't mark it. But there is a rectangle right there. And my pen is not working, but it's a rectangle. It's also a quadrilateral because it has four sides to it. It's also a trapezoid because it has at least one set of parallel sides. But it's not a rhombus because a rhombus has all four sides the same length. And it's not a square because all four sides are the same length. But it is a parallelogram. So parallelogram, trapezoid, quadrilateral, and rectangle. Okay? Well, this one right here, it only has one set of parallel sides to it, so that makes it a trapezoid. But remember, it's always a quadrilateral, and it's a trapezoid. Not a parallelogram, not a rectangle, not a rhombus, and not a square. The last one is, they call this an irregular polygon. It's got four sides, so it's a quadrilateral. But none of them are parallel. So it's not a trapezoid, it's not a parallelogram, it's not a rectangle, it's not a rhombus, and it's not a square. The only thing is that it's a quadrilateral. Okay? Sorry guys, my pen's not working, but there's a good explanation. Go ahead and try some of these yourself and see if you can classify them up here. Remember that almost everything to the left is part of what's to the right. So for example, a rectangle is a square, a rhombus is a square, a parallelogram is a square, and a trapezoid is in a square also. Oops, actually I said those all backwards. Okay, a square is a rectangle, a rhombus, a parallelogram, and a trapezoid. Okay, you guys go ahead. If you have any questions, come and see me. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.